What is self-inquiry? Well, to begin with, self-inquiry is not a conceptual process of collecting ideas. It's not brainstorming. It's actually experiential. You can imagine if somebody handed you an exotic fruit that you'd never tasted before and said, "What does this taste like?" You could look at the fruit and imagine different possibilities and spout off your ideas, but that would not be what the fruit tasted like. To know what the fruit tasted like, you would have to take a bite. Once you had taken the bite, you would know what the fruit tasted like. You might not have words for it yet. You might not know how to answer their question well, but the moment you've tasted the fruit, you've savored its flavor, you know the answer. Self-inquiry is the same way. It's an experience. You might not have words to describe it, but once you've had the experience, that is self-inquiry. So there's two main categories of self-inquiry. One is inquiring into what we are. This is feeling that core essence. And we'll talk about that more in this discussion. The second type is inquiring into how do we create the illusion of a self that is transient. That's a separate type. So returning to the first type, it's an internal experience of the core essence of what we are. The main question we tend to ask is, what am I? And then we feel for that internal knowing that is I am. That most root aliveness. We experience that core essence and marinate in it. We savor this attending to this experience of what in day-to-day life is subtle, but that core being. Now, we often think that what we are is our bodies, but if we had many transplants of different organs, or if we had amputations, or if we were unconscious for an extended period of time, that core essence would remain there regardless. So this core essence is what we're savoring in. Now, of course, we might have some thoughts and conceptualizations about it, but that's not experiencing it. So if those thoughts and ideas and words come, we just let them pass and focus back into tending to the experience of knowing what we are. So take a moment right now. Ask, what am I? And feel what inside of you knows I am. Now, perhaps you're starting to feel it. Or perhaps it doesn't seem like there's anything there. Well, it takes practice, but it is more of a nothing than a something. So the space and the nothing shouldn't be discounted. It may feel vague at first, just like using any sense for the first time could be difficult. You know, when you're first discerning different bird calls or discerning the difference between peppermint, spearmint, and wintergreen, it may be a little foggy, but that's okay. You just pay attention to the little glimmer, the little glimpse, don't discount that, and just sense it. Because the more you pay attention to that, the more capacity you gain in being able to sense with specificity this essence that you are. And you come back to this over and over. If thoughts come or doubts come, that's okay. just come back, ask the question, what am I? And feel the answer. Over time, you'll find that you are more skilled, more practiced, and that sense of what you are becomes more accessible. You just keep feeling for that underlying essence, that aliveness that knows that you are. You may find yourself doing other types of inquiry later on, but interestingly, there's often a return to this fundamental question, what am I? And marinating in the experience of it, savoring it. And as we come back and back, we may find that we know it in deeper and deeper way. So take the time to ask yourself, what am I? And you can feel the answer for 30 seconds, for 5 minutes, for a whole hour. And as you find yourself distracted, just ask again the question, what am I? And feel that internal knowing.